what are some other expenses to look out for when you're getting ready to buy a house, besides obviously just the mortgage? Well, there's really a few main ones, and then there's a couple more minor ones. The main ones would be your taxes, property taxes. That can be a pretty big bill, especially here in Bakersfield. It's going to be at least a few $1,000s a year. It's going to add at least another few $100s a month, most likely, to your bill. Another one is insurance. That's going to be another couple $100s a month, most likely. Utilities. Some people don't really think about that, especially if they're maybe in an apartment already, or they're somewhere where they don't have to pay a whole lot of utilities. If you're getting into a larger space to live, especially in these Bakersfield summers, those utilities can be really expensive. It can be really expensive to keep larger areas cool. So that's something to keep in mind as well. And then maintenance is probably one of your biggest ones that, especially if you're living in an apartment, you don't really have to think about maintenance too much, because if your fridge breaks, you just call the landlord and he's the one that takes care of the fridge. If something goes wrong, you just call somebody else. If you're the homeowner now, unless you have an HOA, pretty much everything is on your shoulders to take care of. So if the fridge goes out, or the hot water heater starts to leak, or if the roof is getting old, all that stuff is now up to you to actually replace, and it can be pretty hefty to do that. So definitely things to keep in mind. You want to budget. Depends on the house, depends on your standards of appliances, all that kind of stuff, of how much you want to spend and budget for that. But it's something you should keep in mind. And then, of course, an HOA fee, if that is applicable. Sometimes those can be as low as maybe $50 a month to a couple $100s a month, depending on how nice the neighborhood is, and depending on how much that HOA is actually going to contribute. If they're going to take care of the roofs, because maybe it's a condo or something like that, then maybe it's going to be a little bit higher. If it's just maybe landscaping and some other things, maybe it's a little bit lower. Those are 5 expenses to think about before you get ready to buy a house.